It is a fort city in the southern French city of Occitanie-Legion, capital of the province of Aude. A large and beautiful fortress forms a panoramic view of the city and utilizes it to enhance its status as a tourist city, which is France's representative school trip site. It is a representative school trip destination that preserves the medieval city. Also, considering that Carcassonne city is in charge of tourism and culture, and nearby Toulouse city is a university city, and the aviation industry is central, the relationship with Toulouse city is similar to Jinju city and Sachang city in Korea. The fort is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the famous medieval real estate junkie board game Carcassonne is also based on the historical nature of Carcassonne surrounding the fort. However, in Korea, the awareness of board games is overwhelmingly higher than that of cities. As early as 3500 BC, there was a settlement along the hills along the Aude River. The Romans first constructed the fortress around 100 BC, and the kingdom of Visigoths ruled it from 453 AD. At this time, Carcassonne's fortification began, and the layout of the fort we can see now was completed, and it became famous as an impregnable fort. However, the Franks defeated the Goths at the Battle of Bouvier in 507 and were under the control of the Franks, but were ruled by Islamic forces that had crossed the Pyrenees since 724. The most famous event in Carcassonne's history of defense is that Saracen Arab Muslim, who came from Barcelona, overcame the attack of the Frankish kingdom led by Pepin the Short in 759. After the Battle of Tours, Aquitaine was subjugated to the Frankish kingdom, and Charles Martel's son, Pepin, invaded the territory controlled by Islamic forces, including Septimania. However, although he went through numerous wars, it was impossible to break through Carcassonne's fortress. Eventually, Pepin changed the operation to siege, waiting for Arab food to run out, and the Saracens, who were actually guarding the castle, suffered from severe starvation. However, Queen Carcass of the Arab side of the castle used her brain to feed the pig a lot of Egyptian beans and throw them out of the castle, and when the pig's belly burst and undigested beans poured out, the Frankish army withdrew, judging that there was still enough food in the castle. Since then, there is a theory that the name of the province of Carcassonne has been solidified after Queen Carcass. Unfortunately, there is no action in the game of Carcassonne to throw pigs out of the castle, but the name of the place was Carcassonne in the Roman Empire, and was called similar before that. Even after being eventually occupied by the Christian French in the late 8th century, Fort Carcassonne played a key role in defending its entry into Spain. However, in the early 13th century, under the Count of Toulouse, Catharism Christianity, which was prevalent in southern France, was classified as heresy, and, when oppressed, they staged a sit-in in Carcassonne. However, during the Albigensian Crusades, the city was eventually captured by the royal army, and most of the Catharism Catholics were burned at the stake. In 1209, Toulouse and the Carcassonne became French crowns and were controlled by the central government. Later, at the end of the 13th century, today's fortification ended, and during the 100 Years' War was besieged by the English army, but they also overcame it. In 1575 and 1585, he was attacked by Protestants as part of the Huguenot War, but was repelled. In 1659, after the 30 Years' War and the Treaty of Westphalia, Spain and France signed the Treaty of Pyrenees to restore peace, which further lowered the French border to the south, reducing the military importance of Fort Carcassonne, which kept Spain in check. Fort Carcassonne has been in almost perfect shape for many years, and it contains traces of its expansion over time, making it a very important historical material for army lovers, as it provides an insight into how the siege has changed over time. Then, in the early 19th century, the fort was defunct and became the quarry. Carcassonne was protected by the 1850 ban on the destruction of fortresses by Jean-Pierre Cros-May-Reviel, who was interested in history. The subsequent restoration project ended in 1910, creating a spectacular view of the present. The main language of the region is Occitan language. It is a historical characteristic of the Languedoc region, to which Carcassonne belongs.
Many thanks for watching my video. Hopefully I'll see you next episode. Peace, Amen, Namaste, Bye bye. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.